everybody. We're Jenny and
I'm Emma
from the Musser Public Library. This is called
A Walkabout History. Based on old maps and sketches of the park, we know that there was originally playground equipment across from the zoo instead of where it is now. We don't know exactly what the playground looked like or what all of the features were, but we found photos in the paper that we're assuming was in this space. A June 1956 journal article includes a view of the elephant slide, one of the most popular pieces of playground equipment, and the Christmas candy fence, which was part of Candy Stickland, that surrounded the Kiddie carousel, where children may ride, slide, whirl, and teeter-totter to their heart's content. Much like the old playground, there are lots of articles and maps and other documents that allude to the presence of amusement park-style rides in the park, also across from the zoo. We believe that this section of the park was between the old playground and the bandstand. So, because we weren't sure where to start looking for information about these rides, I found it easier to work backwards. A 2003 journal article mentions memories of a dinky little Ferris wheel, and a 1976 Dear Aunt Sadie letter features commentary in opposition of the admission prices for amusement rides in Weed Park. It was a 1963 article where I found a more definitive listing of the attractions: a miniature train, a new roller coaster, a fire engine, a carousel, and a Ferris wheel. Starting June 15th of this year, every Saturday would be a family day, with ride prices reduced to 5 cents, which is the modern day equivalent of 50 cents or so, give or take. Typically, the train, roller coaster, and fire engine cost 15 cents, and the carousel and Ferris wheel each cost 10 cents. A 1960 article announced that the miniature train was soon to be installed, and that the Ferris wheel, merry-go-round, and pony rides were very popular. And then I found this 1956 photo of a Ferris wheel in Weed Park. However, it was taken during the 4th of July festival, so it's unclear as to whether this was the Weed Park Ferris wheel or one that was temporarily set up as part of the celebration.
Before the swimming pool was built, there was a wading pool. Built in 1920, it was constructed of concrete with a diameter of 50 feet inside the pool area. It measured about 14 inches deep in the center and was shallow near the edges. In 1956, a smaller wading pool replaced the old one. It was deemed cleaner and safer than the original wading pool. Sometime in the late 1970s or early 1980s, the wading pool closed due to accidents and the lack of a filtration system. For years, if you wanted to cool off in the summer, the easiest place to do so was the Mississippi River. However, it was not the safest. It wasn't until 1921 that a swimming pool was opened in Weed Park. The pool was dedicated on August 17, 1921. It cost $20,000 and it measured 50 feet wide by 100 feet long and could hold 189,000 gallons of water. There was a springboard and an elevated platform for diving. Admission was free. On Thursdays, women only used the pool. This only lasted for a year because the Park Commission said that there had not been enough interest shown. Flash forward to the year 2004. Times have changed and the new flashy word for swimming pool has become aquatic center. Renovations had been made to the pool in 1949 and in 1980, but it was time for something new. With a grant from the Roy J. Carver Charitable Fund and Pearl of the Mississippi Project Fund, the Aquatic Center became a reality. At a cost of $3.8 million, the new Aquatic Center would be located at the bottom of the hill where the old baseball diamond had been located. the pool would have 11,661 square feet of water surface, which is about a quarter the size of a football field. There would be 5 slides, a diving board, an in-pool basketball court, water tumblers, a large bathhouse, and on and on. The pool opened to the public on June 2, 2004, but closed after the ribbon-cutting ceremony due to poor weather conditions. Before we leave the swimming pool, I just want to mention this story. Emma and I were looking at some of the material that the Parks and Recreation Department loaned to us for research. Both of us stopped and did a double take when we saw these pictures. We couldn't figure out why anyone would be putting bucketfuls of fish into what looked like the Weed Park swimming pool. So with help from the Parks Department and Emma's research skills, we tracked down the story. Picture it. It's October of 1979. It was decided to hold a fishing derby at the Weed Park pool. Between the end of the swimming season and the date of the derby, the pool was allowed to cool down and lose its chlorine. Over 300 rainbow trout were dumped into the swimming pool. 360 fishermen signed up for the event, paying 75 cents to participate in a 30-minute session. You get to keep whatever you caught. Everything is going according to plan. Then, the unthinkable happens. The fish won't bite. Then, later in the week, the fish all die. Cause of death was determined to be traces of ammonia toxicity left in the water by bathers during the swimming season. Ammonia is one of the major components of urine. Ironically, 3 different groups had tested the water before the fish were placed, but ammonia toxicity was the one test that wasn't taken.